A carefree journey turns into a nightmare when a treasure hunt reveals the dark sides of friends, forcing them to fight not only for the treasure but for their own souls. 1977, USA. While Wayne is sleeping in a parked car, another vehicle pulls up behind him. Keats and Robin have decided to embark on a dangerous adventure and are ready to carry out their plan. Wearing masks, they sneak into the house and attack the sleeping man. He punches Keats in the face and resists, but Robin kicks him in the groin, after which her friend knocks the homeowner unconscious and loads his body into the trunk. The next morning, it turns out that Gordy, Keats, Robin, and Wayne are longtime best friends from college, reunited to celebrate Gordy's bachelor party before his upcoming wedding. The four friends find themselves in Red River, a town where they used to enjoy hanging out in local saloons. They had once visited every saloon but never found the distillery called Arcadia. This time, they plan to make things right and head to the nearest bar, only to face disappointment instead of bourbon. It turns out that the old saloon has gone bankrupt and is now a wine bar, frequented by elderly women. While Keats and Robin decide to get drunk, Gordy heads to a nearby antique shop, where he meets Carolyn, the daughter of the owner of the bankrupt saloon. He had once proposed to her, but that was in the past. Carolyn gives him the last bottle of bourbon from her father's bar, but Gordy hasn't drunk alcohol in almost 10 years. She then shares the legend of the bullet treasure, which says that during Prohibition, a family that made alcohol hid all their savings somewhere in the woods. Returning to the bar, Gordy convinces his friends to abandon their original plans and search for the buried treasure. A drunken bar patron then approaches, attempting to flirt with Robin. Gordy reacts aggressively, punches him in the groin, and holds a knife to the stranger's throat, threatening to kill him if he comes near their friend again. Soon, the four friends head deep into the rural Kentucky woods. Ignoring dozens of no trespassing signs, they start digging in hopes of finding the treasure, but to no avail. Keats is the first to lose hope and suggests giving up on the foolish quest. This is not only due to his laziness but also his greed, as he had decided to save money by buying a small shovel. Gordy mocks him and suggests they continue searching. Later, he apologizes to Robin for his aggression in the bar. He had wanted to surprise her with his bravery but realized that she didn't appreciate his noble gesture. In the evening, the friends set up camp, build a fire, cook dinner, and read books. Wanting to improve their mood, they decide to smoke, but Keats had saved money by buying the cheapest brand. Robin suggests playing a game they used to enjoy in high school. Grabbing Keats' backpack, the girl reaches inside to pull out an item they would all laugh at. It turns out that her friend was ready for such an adventure and had prepared a special surprise, which shocks Robin. She finds herself holding an adult toy, making her the target of teasing. She thinks it's too serious a topic, considering how the world is run by men, who unjustly underestimate the role of women in modern society. At one point, Gordy notices how Robin is eating an apple. It seems overly sensual to him, as apple juice runs down the girl's body. Due to the influence of banned substances, his mind becomes clouded with foolish thoughts and desires, and he grabs his friend's chest. Robin is furious about what happened and is ready to use her pepper spray, but Keats calms her down and pulls her aside. He asks her not to be angry with their friend, explaining that he's just too happy and hardly aware of what he's doing. At the same time, Gordy overhears snippets of conversation and is insulted by Robin's attitude. He's been feeling more than just friendly affection for her for a long time, but she openly ignores it, never seeing him as a man. Later that night, when the friends lie down to sleep, Gordy begins to hallucinate and thinks his friends are about to make love just a meter away from him. Realizing that it's impossible and that Keats and Robin are just sleeping, he decides to leave the tent and get some fresh air. Gordy notices that someone has taken the antique watch and that there's a stranger nearby. Terrified, he looks around trying to spot the intruder, only to find that it's Wayne, who also couldn't sleep. He had been trying to repair his friend's watch but hadn't succeeded. Wayne and Gordy are both disappointed by the bachelor trip, as it was supposed to be full of fun, but it hasn't lived up to their expectations. Gordy sees this trip not only as an adventure but as a way to find himself. He wants to confront old issues and let go of the problems that still linger in his mind. Once, as a teenager, Gordy had decided to watch the sunset on the ocean shore and went on a journey. When he reached a mountain, he began to climb, afraid to look down until nightfall. Only when he turned around did he realize that the ocean had been behind him the whole time, but he had been too blinded by his goal to see that he had already reached it. This taught him to appreciate what he has and to look around, noticing things that others might miss. The four friends spend several days in the forest. They have fun, sing, dance, drink, and enjoy the relaxation. It seems that their adventure won't lead to the discovery of treasure, but that doesn't really bother them. The most important thing is that they've had a great time together, as those are the most valuable memories in anyone's life. At some point, their peaceful vacation is interrupted by an elderly couple, who introduce themselves as Mr. and Mrs. Hitchens. The couple invites the four friends to their home to enjoy a homemade meal and freshen up. Gordy and the group graciously accept the invitation from the elderly couple and end up at their home. Mr. Hitchens is a World War II hero who keeps the weapons he used throughout all the battles. This inspires and surprises Gordy, as he is a gun enthusiast and a history buff. Once, Gordy also enlisted in the army, but unfortunately, he was discharged after only a week. After joining the military, he was sent to a hot spot where the enemy shelled their barracks with mortar fire. Gordy was severely wounded and sent to the hospital, and after that, he could never return to the army. In turn, Mr. Hitchens shares the story of one battle. At the end of World War II, he helped the French and ended up in the jungle, which was full of Japanese soldiers. It was dark outside, and the enemies were hard to see, but he managed to kill one soldier who was only a few meters away. This was his first and only kill up close, and it left a lasting impression on him. Many people took pride in killing the enemy, but Mr. Hitchens understood that the enemy was not just an adversary but also a person with hopes, dreams, and plans for the future. Nowadays, Mr. Hitchens enjoys hunting but never brings home the animals he kills because his wife is against it. Keats goes to the bathroom and notices a napkin with the Bullet family name embroidered on it. Realizing that the elderly couple is lying and that everything is a trap, Keats rushes to their bedroom and conducts a thorough search. He finds a revolver, which he takes and hides before returning to the others. Meanwhile, the elderly couple starts asking more and more aggressive questions. The Hitchenses are curious about what the friends were doing in the forest and what they were trying to find. Avoiding the questions, Robin finally admits that the friends had been hoping to find treasure, but they had come up empty. When Keats returns to the table, he accidentally drops the revolver on the floor, revealing himself. Mr. Hitchens picks up the gun and threatens the four friends, assuming they found and stole his treasure. The old man demands the return of his money, but Keats insists they have no hidden treasure because they found nothing. Believing he's being lied to, the man decides to grab a rifle, but Gordy acts first. Aiming at the old man, he asks him to name the Japanese soldier Mr. Hitchens killed during World War II. The first victim always sticks with you, and it's important to know their name. Once Hitchens names the soldier and admits his real last name is Bullet, Gordy shoots and kills him. This fateful moment shocks everyone. Keats is covered in blood and frozen in place, Robin has a meltdown, and Wayne realizes this will change their lives forever. Gordy is the only one trying not to panic, and he locks Mrs. Bullet in the chicken coop. Realizing that the old woman is an unwanted witness who will tell what happened, the friends decide to kill her. No one is willing to shoot a woman, so they decide to draw lots to choose her killer. Robin pulls the short matchstick and is supposed to kill the old woman, but she isn't mentally ready for it. Gordy decides to take it on himself and heads to the chicken coop, but Robin follows him. She wants to pull the trigger and is ready to do so she asks Gordy and the others not to stop her. The elderly Mrs. Bullet explains to the girls that she doesn't have to shoot, as it's a terrible sin that will haunt her for the rest of her life. Robin struggles to find the courage, but she realizes there's no choice and pulls the trigger. While the three friends clean up the house and destroy all the evidence of the crime, Robin disposes of the old woman's body by burying it in the forest. The next morning, exhausted, the friends return to the camp, hoping to destroy it and erase all traces of their presence in the woods. Gordy is deeply troubled and begins to fully grasp what has happened. He tries to justify his actions as a necessary measure, reasoning that if he hadn't grabbed the rifle and killed the old man, Mr. Bullet would have killed them all. Taking the events too personally, Gordy refuses to listen to his friends and leaves to be alone. After cleaning up the camp, Robin and Keats notice that their friend is missing and hasn't returned for too long. Worried about him, they split up and begin searching for Gordy. Meanwhile, he returns to the Bullet house, where he continues to blame himself for what happened. Taking a small bottle of bourbon that Carolyn had given him, Gordy starts considering drinking it. He is held off for almost 10 years, and Wayne tries to talk him out of making a reckless decision with unpredictable consequences. Ignoring Wayne's words and warnings, Gordy drinks the bourbon, then finds a larger bottle and continues drinking, slipping into an unstable version of himself, which disappoints Wayne. Robin and Keats agree to split up and search the woods. They're willing to spend an hour on it, after which they'll leave, regardless of whether they find their friend or not. At some point, Robin manages to find Gordy, but his behavior seems strange and a bit aggressive. He orders her to sit on a fallen tree and listen to him. Gordy apologizes for getting physical with her a couple of nights ago, and he explains his actions in the wine bar. The man admits that he has been in love with his best friend for years but has kept his feelings to himself. He wants to kiss Robin, but she pushes him away, considering it inappropriate, and asks him to return to the car on his own. Meanwhile, Keats finds one of the markers they were using to navigate during their journey to find the treasure. A few meters from it, he begins digging and discovers a hidden chest containing tens of thousands of dollars. It soon becomes clear that Keats actually found the treasure on the first day but decided to hide it from his friends. Leaving the chest untouched, he marked the spot so he could come back later and claim all the money for himself. A few minutes later, Robin and Keats meet up and head back to the car, where Gordy is already waiting. It seems like the dreadful adventure has finally come to an end, and the friends can return home. However, Gordy is still overwhelmed by the events. He feels the full moral weight of the old man's murder and everything that happened afterward. He's struggling, and his friends don't share his emotional burden, which frustrates the drunk man. The sideways glances from his friends offend him deeply, and Gordy starts aiming the loaded revolver at them, threatening them. A little calmer, Gordy lowers the weapon and asks for forgiveness before continuing to drink. As the friends pack their things, Gordy notices money sticking out of Keats' backpack. Once again aiming the revolver at him, Gordy demands that Keats open the backpack and realizes that his friend has betrayed them. Like a true rat, Keats decided to hide the money so he wouldn't have to share it with anyone. Gordy deduces that Keats had found the treasure on the first day, which means he killed the old man for nothing, blaming him for the discovery. Mr. Bullet was right from the start, and all his accusations were justified. Gordy wrongly defended his friend, committing a terrible crime in the process. Keats defends himself, claiming he was going to confess everything, but no one believes him. Gordy is aggressive toward his friends, as this isn't the first time they betrayed him. 10 years ago, they turned their backs on him at his most difficult moment, leaving him to suffer alone. They didn't share his grief or help him out of his depression, instead continuing their happy lives as if nothing had happened. Now, he's voicing his grievances, but Robin and Keats are too afraid for their lives. Realizing Gordy is dangerous, Robin provokes him and insults him to get him closer. Once he does, she sprays pepper spray in his face, and then Keats and Robin try to escape. Blinded and frightened, Gordy fires 4 shots randomly, seriously injuring Keats. Wayne, hiding behind the car, is shocked by what's happening, as Gordy almost killed his best friends. Feeling disillusioned, Wayne walks away, but Gordy decides to follow him. Taking a bottle of bourbon and discarding the revolver, Gordy heads into the woods. Robin, hiding nearby, grabs the weapon and follows the men, trying to find and save Keats. Meanwhile, the injured Keats is losing blood, desperately needing medical help. His femoral artery is severed, and the makeshift tourniquet isn't stopping the bleeding. At one point, Robin considers shooting Gordy in the back, but Keats grabs her leg and helps her hide in a ravine before she can pull the trigger. Seeing that Keats' injury is too severe, Robin leaves him the revolver with 2 bullets and sets out to find someone who can help. Gordy notices her and follows her. Spotting Keats lying nearby, Gordy decides to approach him first and sees that his friend is gravely injured and bleeding out. Keats is doomed to die, so Gordy leaves a photo of them together by his side, then takes the revolver. Abandoned and betrayed by everyone, Keats slowly dies, looking at the photo where they were once happy and loyal friends. Wayne tries to reason with Gordy, reminding him that he is a good person. The mad, drunk man ignores his friend's words, believing that he has finally accepted himself. He's a monster, a creature who made a mistake 10 years ago and has never recovered, neither morally nor psychologically. Realizing he can't influence his friend, Wayne throws his pocket watch on the ground and walks away, promising never to return. At that moment, Gordy recalls events from 10 years ago. One night, he, Robin, and Keats got drunk at a bar, then headed home. On the way, Gordy nearly fell asleep at the wheel and accidentally hit someone. That person turned out to be Wayne, who had actually died in a car accident 10 years ago. After burying the body, the friends swore to keep it a secret, but in reality, it became Gordy's burden. Unable to cope with the emotional trauma, he began seeing the dead man, who became a symbol of guilt and a loyal companion, always by his side. Realizing that Wayne has truly left for good, Gordy becomes even more insane. He begins hunting Robin with the sole goal of killing the last witness to his crimes. Trying to escape and pushing through the forest, the girl falls from an embankment into a tangle of barbed wire, allowing Gordy to catch up and find her. He's ready to kill Robin, but the revolver has no bullets. Keats had known he wouldn't be able to shoot his friend, so he took out the rounds, saving the girl's life in that moment. Gordy isn't going to stop, but he gets a bullet in the back from Mrs. Bullet. It turns out that Robin couldn't bring herself to kill an innocent woman and had saved her that night by only pretending to commit the crime. Crawling out of the barbed wire, Robin, using her last strength, continues her journey and finally finds the alcohol factory called Arcadia. The final scenes of the film take us back to 1967. A month after Wayne's death, the 3 friends decide to meet at a bar, trying to return to normal life. Keats and Robin have managed to forget what happened and joyfully welcome the new year, ignoring the moral state of their friend. As for Gordy, he hasn't drunk in a month and is deeply troubled by the car accident that turned into a horrific tragedy. It's here that he sees Wayne for the first time, now a loyal companion to him. Is true friendship genuine if it falls apart at the first real challenge? Or does everyone, even those closest to us, have the potential to betray when fear, greed, and the fight for survival take over? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.